My studio needs fixed again. It's time to build something. I have this beefy long table, 63 inches long, that currently my 3D printers are sitting on. I've got my Saturn II and my Anycubic Viper. It also has some materials, battery charger, stacks of organizers and stuff. But this originally housed my photo printer, which is in the darkness down there. But then I started 3D printing and I needed somewhere to set up my 3D printers. I thought they would live on that shelf in the corner. That's not gonna happen. And so I need a way to better make use of this space. And I need things to be able to hang. I need to better use my fume extractor. I can't hang anything on this wall because this wall is actually a garage door, just behind some sound blankets and whatever. So I need to make my table vertically. I need to grow my table space vertically. So I'm gonna take a note from Black Magic Craft here for what he did for his spray booth, but instead basically turn this into a 2-tiered table. I'm thinking 3D printers go on top, and then space for my big printer and some other workspace organizers down below. But I'm not really sure if I have the wood for it. So that's gonna be the first step. Oh my God, it was just in my hands. How did I lose my tape measure already? All right, here we go. I've got a rough outline of what the plan is. Let's go see if we have the wood.
It's not often that I have exactly the wood I need for a project idea, but oh boy, is it oh so gratifying. Nothing makes my ADHD dopamine buttons go like impulsively pursuing a project that has been gnawing at the back of my head and being able to just grab junk out of the shed and rig it together. My original plans called for two 31.5 by 24 inch pieces of wood for the top and a few 25 inch tall 2x4s for the legs. I happen to have a 30 by 25 and 33 by 24 piece of MDF from our old desk cutoffs and a few 27 inch tall 2x6s from our old desk legs. We always make our own desks and I try to keep all the parts when I can. It's great when I have project ideas like this and use them, but obnoxious to have to keep moving them around for the year or so until that happens. This was a good day. I decided to just go with it so I didn't actually have to cut any wood this time. The extra inch of depth can hide in the back and a couple extra inches taller is probably fine. That might bite me in the butt later, but I was far more concerned about only having 3 legs. I'd have to be careful to make something that didn't just fall over.
So I had these lights. I've mounted lights for whenever we get power going here. These are these quasar tubes, and I 3D printed these brackets for them. I'm pretty sure it melted. It wasn't up against metal, it was hanging right there on that wood beam. But it's so warped. I think it melted just enough, because it cracked a little bit when I screwed it in, but it should have friction held. But they're so warped, I think the plastic melted. Yikes.
Next was paint. The person who plans ahead and has patience to complete a project would have used proper latex paint. I even started opening the black paint can. But that would mean waiting hours for it to dry, especially in the cloudy weather that we have this week, and me absolutely not being able to finish this tonight, which meant not finishing it until next week. That just won't stand. My neuroses demand results now. So instead I gave myself a headache covering it in spray paint. Spray paint is a lot of fun for many projects, but coating this much surface area isn't it, especially with one heavily used can. But it dries quickly, and I had some cans of Rust-Oleum with primer that don't blend well with my Montana rattle cans, so I said YOLO and used up all of my black and most of my clogged up pink and cyan cans. That's more my style. I just didn't want the exposed brown MDF, both for looks and for durability reasons. Time to tear everything down. Most of this is staying here, but there is a fair bit of stuff that's without a home, which I'll have to sort through later. This is how it always goes, from one pile to the next. I attached the legs in a staggered way so they mostly balance as I installed it on the table. This mostly works fine, but the side with the furthest most back leg definitely could topple forward if I leaned on it. So naturally the janky fix was elbow brackets. 2 on that leg and 1 on the back of the middle leg. I would have done more, but this was all I had. That's how it goes. This won't be foolproof if I climb on it or something, but that never would be safe. This both secures it from any natural tippage with reasonable weight and secures it to the desk. This is actually rock solid and prevents it from shaking too much from the 3D printers too. I may still look into putting the FDM printer on one of those stepping stones as is often recommended, but this is fine for now.
You might be thinking to yourself, wow, that's not how I would have done this at all. Yeah, me neither probably. Except this is how I always do this. Time to get some LED strips going.
Loaded everything up, and I was actually impressed with just how spacious this became. Ran some Elgato LED strips for lighting, hung a hook for my wash and cure basket. This is just draft 1. The next step will be to use it for a few weeks, see what I'm using where and where I need more stuff, and then start building out more storage within the frame. I have lots of space under that second level for mounting hooks, drawers, and so on. I have an old pegboard that I could slice up and put back there. Actually, that would be sick. Let me write that down. But then I would have to take the whole thing down to attach it. I could put in more shelves. I don't know. Sound off with ideas in the comments below.
Y'all, I am over the moon right now. Look at this. Cluttered, barely usable crafting bench just got updated to mega crafting bench. Up on top, we've got the Elegoo Saturn II resin printer, the Anycubic Wash and Cure Station 2, the Anycubic Viper FDM printer. It's got some general organizational shelves that I didn't have anywhere else to put, and up top is my hot wire cutter, just kind of hanging out for me to pull down when I need. And then down here, I've got the lighting with Elgato LED strips so I can control it for background stuff. We've got battery charger, wash and cure, basket hanging on a hook. We've got resin supplies, plastic trays, my photo printer, other crafting supplies. This is just draft 1. And the next step is finding a way to mount my hose for my fume extractor kind of up here. And then eventually I do want to connect it to the back port that this one has as like a pull off, and then put hooks on this shell and this shell for me to hang on that bar up there. I don't think I'm gonna get that done today though. I think I am stoked with where it is at for now. This is honestly too crazy. I did not expect it to turn out as nice as it did and as functional. Like, this is what I wanted. So rarely do projects go exactly how I want, especially in terms of, did I have enough wood? Technically no, but I just happen to have the right pieces to make it work anyway. This is gonna take things to the next level and allow me to clear off all of that. It has already allowed me to do, because like this is all my mini painting stuff. This is what I use, other than a couple little things. But like this was completely overcrowded with all of that stuff, as whenever I, finished over there, I had to bring it over here. So freaking stoked. Remember to be kind, rewind.